kicks off tomorrow. And to be honest, I can't think of anything else I'd rather talk about. And I'm a Cardinals fan. What are the Cardinals, like 26 games, over 500, way out in first place? Two pitchers that are probably going to finish 1 and 2 in Cy Young voting. There's so much there's a lot going on with baseball, but I think it really speaks volumes to just how powerful and how huge football is. Nobody really cares about that. Really, nobody really, the Cardinals are great, and, people care a little bit about baseball or whatever, but nobody really wants to talk about that right now, especially not Cubs fans. But even diehard Cardinals fans will mention it, but then they'll say, oh man, but NFL's starting this weekend, and that's the big thing. That's what's happening, and that's all anybody ultimately cares about. Now, when the actual postseason gets here in baseball, there'll be some things worth talking about, but still, it'll take a backseat to football. It really will. If you can't admit that, I don't know. You're naive and sheltered and possibly ugly. I don't know. But we're talking football. We're talking a lot of football. And I'm so excited. And tomorrow night, Tennessee Pittsburgh. It should be a good enough game. Right? A good enough game to watch, and it's something. It's football that actually matters. But it should honestly be, okay, Mark says 17-13. I was going to say 13-6. That's what I said. That's what I said Saturday morning on Fantasy Football 101. I said, oh, yeah, no, it should be just an amazing 13-6 matchup. They probably could have started off the season with a little more exciting of a game instead of just two teams known for their smash mouth defense. And I don't expect to see a lot of offense in this game. I really don't. It takes offenses a little bit longer to get clicking and to get going, whereas I expect both of the defense of these two teams to just come out and be ready to punch people in the face. And college football started last week. And you know what? Here's the thing about me is there are certain things that I follow. Like I do sports talk, and I do a lot of sports talk, and I do a show a week on my page here, also on basementradio.net. I also do, obviously, the Fantasy Football 101 every Saturday, which I love. But, I have a full-time job that has nothing to do with radio. Okay, and I'm married, and I have 3 kids, so I want to be well-versed in everything because it's better for you if you're going to actually make a career out of, sports talk radio. And I've made it no secret, I'm trying to get hired as hard as I can on 1450 to be a full-time guy, but as it is now, with doing what I'm doing, I can only lend my attention to the things that really, really interest me, that really, really stand out. I can't make myself watch sports just to talk about it. I can't make myself get into baseball just so I can talk, so I can sound smarter about it on my show. Instead, I'll just come on here and I'll admit flat out, and a lot of guys in sports talk don't do this, but I'll admit flat out, yeah, listen, I don't know that much about college football. I don't know that much about baseball. I don't know that much about high school sports. I focus on NFL. I focus on NBA. I focus on college basketball. And you know what? That's it of the main sports. And you know what else is interesting me that I think is worth talking about is UFC Ultimate Fighting. So really, those are the 3 things that I'm interested enough in that I can do a talk show. Now, if I were to be doing this full time, if my job, if what paid me was to just talk about sports nonstop, well then sure. Sure, I would talk about anything and everything, and I would be so well versed and so studied up. But to be honest with you, I'm spread a little thin, so I can only pay attention to what's really exciting to me. And right now, it's just football. Football is ruling out right now. It is number 1. It is, that's just great. Just great. And last season, I came out and I picked, in the preseason, I picked the Steelers to win the whole thing. Now, I did pick them to go to the Super Bowl and beat the Saints, but I was 2/3 right. Not bad. This season, last week, if you listen, 2 weeks ago, I had my buddy TJ Spain in here helping me out, and he did a great job, and he almost made it back in tonight. But we went through, and I think I picked New England to win the Super Bowl and to beat Carolina in the Super Bowl. But I've been thinking other than that, I want to change. I want to change what I picked. I want to do it different now. I don't want... What happened? Oh, okay. All right, on. The Vanilla Gorilla added me as a contact on Skype. Yeah, I dig Skype, even though I don't really use it that much. But I changed. I don't want to pick New England this year. I want to go different. These last couple weeks, I think I've had like a moment of clarity. All right? And in the NFC, I don't think it'll be Carolina in the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be Philadelphia. I think it's going to be the Eagles, which is, I think that's who TJ said last week. But I think Philadelphia is going to make it to the Super Bowl. And get this, I think they're going to play Baltimore. And I think Baltimore's going to win. Yeah, seriously, that's my pick. All right, I'm changing. I'm officially changing it right here and right now. I have a good feeling about Baltimore. I really like Joe Flacco. Their defense is always good. I really, really like Ray Rice. They're well put together. And think about it. Flacco won a playoff game last year, right? Didn't he get to the second round? As a rookie? It's not out of the question. Everybody's like, Baltimore? Yeah, Baltimore. If they improve on last season, they're in the AFC Championship. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason why Baltimore couldn't do it. Mark says lack of wide receivers may be the team's downfall. Maybe. Except Derek Mason hauls in over 1,000 yards every season. So maybe that'll be their downfall, but it didn't hurt them much last year. They seem to be just fine, and now Ray Rice is better. Good, even. Starter. I'm telling you, man, I'm going Baltimore. No joke. And that's me. That's just what I'm throwing out there. I had to be bold. I was sitting there thinking, New England? How could I pick New England? How could I actually go on there and just pick New England? I mean, come on. That's like I didn't even look at anything. The Power 1977 says, and this is back, this dude in my fantasy league wants me to give him Frank Gore and Eddie Royal for Jamal Lewis and Reggie Wayne. No. And obviously you declined it, it says. Good for you. Yeah, good for you. Mark says it'll be Tampa Bay and Oakland. Oof. Boy, that was my second pick, Mark. Either one of those two. You know what? What's going on here? What's going on in the NFL? There's a lot of stuff going down. There's diva wide receivers, right? There's Brandon Marshall, and what's happened? I think I saw something that Denver and Brandon Marshall were actually rediscussing, going back to the table on the contract and trying to figure something out. So maybe they're going to get something done. And listen, this is what they need to do, because I've wanted to talk about this, and this blows my mind. This totally blows my mind. And I'm not going to totally stick up for Brandon Marshall, but I'm just going to point something out. Because nobody seems to be acknowledging what's happening here. And what's happening here is you have a new coach, Josh McDaniel, a guy that comes in. He's like 24 years old. He's like one of the youngest coaches ever. Right? He comes in, and right off the bat, his first move that he makes as a coach is to put the face of the franchise, the star quarterback, on the trading block. That's the first thing he did. Before he even came and got to know Jay Cutler, before he even came and ran a practice, he's already trying to get Matt Castle instead of Cutler because he worked with Castle last year in New England.